All right, now we get into some creative closes. Okay, don't watch this DVD without first watching the 5-part closing system. Okay, these are all extra closes to add. These are basically the fifth close, the fifth part of the 5-part closing system. Okay, so here we go. At this point, you've tried to close 4 times. Person said no to all of them. You already handled objections over price. Like you already handled, I don't have money right now. You know, you offered them all the, the extensions, delays, switches. Okay, so now they're gonna give you a reason that they can't do this besides price, and you gotta get it out of them. If they're still hitting you with price, you could say something to the effect like, "Well, if the price is okay, is there anything else that will be holding you back?" You want to dig out of them the reason, the real reason. Now, if somebody says something like, oh, I gotta talk to my wife, I gotta talk to my husband, okay? There's lots of ways you can handle this. You can go embarrassment on them if it's a man and go, you gotta talk to your wife, but don't say like you're insulting them. Say like you're genuinely surprised, like you gotta talk to your wife, and have them explain themselves. That sometimes works. We had a guy here. I use him a lot. I guess you could tell I like the guy, Che. Okay. He once had a guy say that he needed to talk to his wife, and he told the guy straight up, and he goes, "Look, when your wife is at the grocery store and she wants to use a coupon, does she call you and ask you for permission?" And the guy goes, "No," and he goes, and just give him a look, like saying like, "And what, you need to ask your wife if you can join this?" And the guy's like, "You're right, man. Let me just join." And he signed up. Okay, so that works. 'Cause a lot of times they don't really need to ask their wife. Okay, they're just saying this to buy time because they're nervous about committing to something. Okay, people are very scared about jumping into stuff. So sometimes you just get to give them that little nudge. Okay. Another way of handling the spousal objection is you could tell them something like this. Goes, okay, it's good. You want to talk to your wife. I understand that. You guys share financial stuff. But let me ask you something. Is it possible for your wife to assess the value of this place without having been here, without having spoken to me, gone through the private lesson, seen the facility? Do you think it's really fair that she would be able to make a good assessment on the value? And then the guy would say, well, no. And you go, so how will she do it? Based on what you tell her, right? So basically, what do you think right now? And the guy would say, well, I think it's worth it. Well, there you go. And that's another direction you can go, because it's true. Like, well, how can how can she make any? How can she give you any real good input into whether or not this is a good decision? What she would do is she would go based on what you're telling her. So basically, at the end of the day, it's what do you think? Okay. That's another route with the spousal objections. Another thing you can do is you can also appeal to the man himself or the woman herself and be like, look, you work hard, okay? You deserve this, right? I don't see why you have to talk to your spouse, because you know what? At the end of the day, I think she's going to be happy that you're doing something you enjoy. And I want you to save money right now by signing up for our early bird special. I want to give you these boxing gloves, okay? You shouldn't miss out on this. Go ahead, let's jump into this. And just keep persuading. The fact of the matter is, spousal objections are not real, okay? They're simply the person trying to be defensive. They're not buying a house, okay? They're getting a martial arts membership, okay? So that's one objection that you can do tons of research on spousal objections. There's thousands of them out there. I got another way of handling the spousal objection that one of our sales guys, Bruce, uses. When people say, "Oh, I need to talk to my wife," he'll say, "Okay, go ahead and call her." And he'll just give her the phone right in front of the guy, And that one works pretty good because a lot of times the wife has no real say in it. She's the guy. She'll be like, "Yeah, go ahead." Like a lot of times they really don't care. They're just saying that because they want time to think about this because, like I mentioned earlier, defense. So he'll just give the guy the phone right there and say, "Go ahead and call her," and they'll do it, and then they'll say, "Okay, I'll do this," So there's been a lot of times that's how Bruce does every single spousal objection. He gives them the phone and asks them to call, But you act like it's normal, like, okay, go ahead and call her, because remember you're an assistant, okay? You're helping this person make a decision. As Zig Ziglar calls it, the assistant buyer. You're an assistant to the buyer. You're helping him. So if you act like you're trying to be on his team, that you're like, oh, you need to talk to your wife? Okay, yeah, here's the phone, call her, so that way we can do this, okay? Like you're his buddy. Don't act like, yeah, call her because I want your money. Don't have that kind of atmosphere going on. Okay, that's another spousal objection. Another objection you get is, oh, I live kind of far away. Okay, it's a little bit of a drive. All right, and that one's is surprisingly easy to handle because you could tell someone something like this. Well, it's true. How long is your drive? 30 minutes to get here. Okay, so let me ask you this. You could probably find a school that's about 10 minutes away from your house. So you'd be saving 20 minutes a trip. And if you're doing 2 classes a week, you're saving yourself, let's see, 40 and 40, because you're 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back you're saving, so it's 40 minutes, and then 2 times a week, so it's 80 minutes a week. So you're saving, let's call it an hour and a half a week. Okay, times 4 for a month, you're saving 6 hours a month by going to the closer gym. Let me ask you this though. If you're training, if you already told me that this gym definitely has what you're looking for, okay? But if you train at another gym that may not be adequate, and you stay there for 2-3 years, okay? You're talking about hours and hours of classes, okay? Not 6 hours a week. You're talking about the time you're putting into these things are definitely 10 to 12 hours of training a month. And after years, you end up getting your butt kicked on the street, or if you guys are a competitor, you get your butt kicked in the cage. At the end of the day, how much time did you really waste? Okay, the savings you're making by making the extra 15-20 minutes is huge, and you can attack that angle with it, where the amount of time that you'd be wasting by going to the wrong gym is not even close to the amount of time that you lose, that you're going extra just to arrive to our facility. Okay, we have people come from as far as 2 hours away each way to come to our gym. Distance should not be a problem. I have a guy who's a world national champion jiu-jitsu competitor that literally drives 2 hours each way to come train. I have another guy's a UFC fighter that's coming 4 hours to come train. This is so the time, if someone's only coming 20-30 minutes, that's not something you should mention. I mean, something that should phase you. So that's how I would handle that objection. Another creative close is when someone says, I need time to think about it. This is when I refer back to the consultation form and I see how long they thought about joining martial arts. And if they say, 6 months to a year or over a year, this is pretty easy. Usually at this point, I'll be straight up honest with them and I'll tell them, look, I want you to sign up right now. I know you think you're going to come back next week and sign up and when you have some time to think about it. But I want you to sign up right now for many reasons. Obviously, because I want you to join the gym. Okay, that's my job here. But 2, sitting at this end of the table every day, I'm going to tell you right now, that the majority of people who don't join right away end up not joining. Remember how I told you 80% of the people sign up to our program in the 30-day free trial? Of the 80%, the vast majority sign up in the first day. Because what happens is once you leave here, you get caught up in your outside routine, and the same reasons that kept you from joining for over a year now, according to what you told me in our consultation, are going to kick back in when you leave. Okay? Don't waste more time. You already spent over a year thinking about this. Okay? This is a great place. You like it. You told me you liked all the things we're offering. You feel comfortable. We're getting along. Okay? Nothing's going to change. So it's going to get better. So let's go ahead, take the initiative, get your foot in the door, and let's now say, instead of saying I've been thinking about training for over a year, say now I am training in martial arts. Okay. Notice I'm very direct with the person. Yeah, I tell them I want to sign them up. That's obvious. Okay. When you're doing sales, you gotta be a little cocky. Okay. Not obnoxious, but a little cocky. And honesty. Honesty works the best. Okay. Just tell them flat out. You can tell them flat out. Yeah, look, I want you to join right now. Obviously, because I want more students in my school. But you tell him, why it serves him well to join up right now, okay? And that's how I handle objections when people say they need time to think about it. Another objection I'll get is that, I need to check my budget, I need to check my numbers, I'll get back to you when I check everything out. That guy's just trying to get out the door for defensive reasons too, okay? He can be joined. And right there, that's when I'll say something like, if you were able to fit this in your budget, would that be your only concern today? And if he says, yeah, perfect. If he says no, there's also this, and you handle the other objection. But if he says yes, tell him, well, look, right now, what were you hoping to pay? and he says, well, 160 or whatever price he says. Then we go back to the affordable clothes that we mentioned earlier and attack the difference. But with Mr. Budget, if he's really adamant about the budget, that's when you can start saying, well, do you eat out a lot? Do you think that maybe if he says like, you could tell him like, do you eat out at least 3 times a week? Yeah, or maybe if we cut one of those meals out, okay, you're looking at $8, a meal, or $10 a meal. Where do you eat out at? You can get very particular people. And you tell them, look, you just saved $40 right there. You can make this fit in your budget. Or you could say something like, you have a gym membership right now. You told me in your consultation form you work out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. How much does that cost you? $37? Cut that out. And that way you're going to be working out here anyways. Okay? You can get really in depth with people and talk to them about how they can save and shave off stuff off their budget. I like to talk about going out, eating out, because those are things that people don't really see as mandatory. You really need to eat out that much. You can always eat at home. You know what I mean? Like, there's always ways to cut that kind of stuff. And you can get creative and think of other things that can cut. I always attack eating out, and I always attack the gym, because the vast majority of people that come here have gym memberships. And I always try to, hack that out of the equation. And I'll tell them stuff like, look, how often have you been going to the gym recently anyways? Usually the answer is not that often, because that's why they're coming to you. They're looking for something different. Okay? So, that's how I handle Mr. Budget. Another objection I get is the fluctuating schedule. The guy says, right now I'm just not sure what my schedule is. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this, a month from now, and he's all wishy-washy with that, okay? And for that guy, I would say something like this. I'd say, well, first of all, if there comes a moment we get to miss 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or more, we'll always give you credit for the time that you're missing. You're still going to be charged, but when your 6 months are over, we give you that time back so you don't lose the time as long as you give us notice. And with regards to training regularly, if your schedule is always changing and stuff, we can always accommodate it. We have classes running from 6 in the morning to 1:30 in the morning. Okay, so we can make this work. Now, obviously, maybe your schedule is not as crazy as mine. I have a 24-hour gym, all right? But hopefully you have a pretty accommodating schedule and you can work with this gentleman and just emphasize to him, we can always change this stuff around. Nothing's in concrete. If you need to change, you change. You just let us know. We want to work with you, But you definitely can fit this in your schedule, and just attack it and give him the idea of flexibility. Even though you're showing him a schedule, if you look at the schedule as rigid, make sure he understands that it is flexible and you are willing to work with that person. Another objection you'll get is when the person will say, well, the thing is, I'm not sure if I'll stick with this. Okay? These people that are worried about commitment, about, I don't know if I can do this 6 months, can we do something shorter, People like that, they're usually pretty easy, okay? Because these are people that have never committed to anything. If they can't commit to a 6-month program, they probably have had this problem throughout their entire life of not committing to stuff. And that's when I try to pump up their courage and get them excited and go, look, fact of the matter is, if you're having, you could just tell them straightforward, if you're having problems committing to this just only 6 months, okay, you're probably having problems committing to other stuff. You might as well commit to this and make this the first thing that we see through completely, okay? It's only 6 months. And you know what? You're going to feel so good after you finish the 6 months. And you're going to end up renewing for years and years, okay? Because you're going to love this. And you're going to look back now and think to yourself, damn, I almost missed out on this because I got cold feet. I almost had cold feet and missed out on this, So this is something, like I said, it's only 6 months. You're going to do great in this. You're going to stick through it. And you're going to feel a lot more confident and proud of yourself after this is over. Okay? And notice I'm using some imagery there of how he's going to feel when he's looking back and stuff, okay? And when you have guys like this, be direct and say, look, you gotta take dive in, get him excited, get him motivated to do this. So that's how I handle the objections of people that are worried about the 6-month agreement. Another objection I get is, I'm checking out other schools, okay? So at this point you go, okay, cool. Just a few questions though. Wouldn't you say that here, based on our conversation, we have what you were looking for? And they'll say, well, yeah, so basically, are you hoping that with another school you're going to find something cheaper? And then they'll say, well, yeah. And then go, so is that the only concern you have with looking around at other schools? And most of the time they're going to tell you, oh, yeah, the price. If not, if they bring up something else, then great. You have something another rebuttal to talk about. They say, well, I was hoping for more something maybe something more self-defense or you know, something more self-defense oriented, and you could continue talking about your self-defense benefits. But if they say it's a surprise, and you tell them, okay, well look, you know, that's a good concern, but right now, right here at this gym, you have everything. You already told me you have everything you would need. Okay, you know, it's not worth taking the risk of going around wasting your time checking out different places, and at the end taking a chance with another gym just to save $10 to $20. Okay, at the end of the day, certain things are not worth the risk, and your safety and your health, and if you plan on competing, you know, your competition career is not worth just a few bucks. So let's go ahead and join. And remember, you have a 60-day money back guarantee. So at the end of 60 days, if you think this is not for you and that we're not giving you the benefits you want, you can always use that 60-day money back guarantee and go ahead to another gym. So let's go ahead and jump in. You have nothing to lose. Let's do it. And that's how I handle that objection. Another objection I'll get is when the person just, look, I just want to try it out. I just want to do the free trial and see if I like it. Okay, and right there, it just means that he or she hasn't been sold yet based on your presentation and private lesson. So at that point, you know, there's a real objection somewhere, and you got to dig it up. So I would say something like, well, what are you worried about right now? Like if we were to sign up today, what concern would you have right now about the classes? Like, why wouldn't you like it? Okay, and try to hear out what they got to say. They say something like, well, you know, I just want to do one of the group classes and see what it's like. You know, I just want to do a group class first, you know, and see what it's like, you know. And at that point, you can tell them, well, look, I'll tell you right now, you did the private class, you enjoyed the private class. I'll tell you, you know, you've seen all the benefits we're offering. Okay, there's no better time than just jump in right now. You're going to be saving money with the VIP special, saving $200 in registration fee. You'll be getting the free gloves, and at the end of the day, you do have 60-day money back guarantee. So at the end of the 2 months, if you end up not liking it, you can always cash out and get your money back. Okay, the fact of the matter is that by hesitating right now, odds are you're not end up not joining up. It's best to just commit into the program and get the full benefits of it. So when people start talking about wanting to try it out first, the main thing to do is to try to dig out what the real objection is. What are they really worried about? Okay, like obviously they're worried about something. What is it? Why you want to try it out first? What is your fear? Are you afraid that the class will be too tough? Are you afraid that the classes are going to be too crowded or not enough partners? Are you afraid it's going to be not the kind of stuff you want to learn? Maybe it's going to be too sport oriented or too self-defense oriented? You know, try to find out what they're really concerned about. The fact of the matter is, they're there, they did the private lesson, okay, they're ready to go. You can definitely sign them up. You just got to dig out those objections. Okay, that's the end of creative closes. Okay, like I said, constantly be researching, discuss with your coworkers what different objections you get, and brainstorm ways to go around them. If you notice, the most common theme is being direct and honest. Okay, and emphasizing the main concern you have is getting them committed, and just tell them straight up, because odds are when you walk out the door, you're gonna forget about this. And the fact that you forget about it doesn't mean that you'll need it any more than you do right now. You know, right now we came to an agreement that you need to get in shape, or you need self-defense, you know, or you want to compete. And the fact of the matter is, just because you forget about this when you walk out here and go through your regular day, doesn't mean that those needs are gone either. Okay, so that's why I want you to join right now. All right, so you know, just tell them straight up. Emphasize the importance of commitment. Emphasize the importance of the symbolism to themselves by joining today. Get down, they're taking a real step in the right direction. You know, what kind of commitment have they made to their goals? They came and make a 6-month agreement on a piece of paper with you. You know, and you can always fall back on your 60-day money back guarantee, and always emphasize the savings on the registration fee and the free gloves. And if you notice, I didn't go too much into price objections because the 5-part closing system handles that very well with the delay close and with the switch close. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy this. Add to it, okay, and have a great time out there, guys. Have fun with these closes. Alright, everybody, great job watching the DVD. Now the key thing to getting this stuff done is to implement it, okay? Act on the principles you just learned and the ideas you just learned within 24 hours. If you don't act on this stuff within 24 hours, odds are you won't use any of it. So act on it right now. Make some calls, you know, get things rolling, make some procedures, get your staff together and do this. Now, also, if you would like to come to Miami and learn at the live event that we do every so often, okay, get in touch with Miss Bonita. Her email is bonita@lloydirvinlive.com.
The price of the live training is $9,997, and this is the same training that the Mastermind Platinum members do and that the Titanium members do. It's high quality stuff. It's a week and it's very intensive. The guys do 10, 12-hour days training, and when your salespeople leave here, they're gonna be monsters. You're allowed to come yourself and with 2 staff members. The next thing we can do also, I can come to your gym, and I'll come to your gym, do the same exact intense training, and I will train as many staff as you want. I'll train your entire staff, and it's $19,997 for me to come out to your gym. For more information about either of those options, get in touch with Miss Bonita. Her email is bonita@loiterandlive.com. Now go ahead and pop in the next DVD and make sure you get through all the DVDs. Don't skip any. Go through all the DVDs and implement within 24 hours. Good job.